In this video, I'm going to talk about 9 signs that you're being used by a woman. Hi, Sharp Game coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, author of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. So I get a lot of questions from a lot of guys, and unfortunately, we live in a society where there's a lot of broken people. There's a lot of people that take advantage of people. There's a lot of people that prey on people. And hurt people hurt people. That's just how it is. So some people are very disingenuous. They don't have good intentions for you. Everybody that you meet, they're not your friend. Um, and that's just how it is. So the first thing I would say is the first sign that you're being used, and this goes for if you're in a relationship or could even be if you're married too sometimes. The first sign I would say is your woman is focused too much on the money, too much on income. Now let's be clear, money is important, but it's not the end all be all. It's like she's overly concerned about the money. And if you have any doubts when it comes to this, go to her and say, hey, I'm having some problems at work. I don't really know how things is going to go, and see how she reacts. If she's concerned, if she said, hey, what's going on? Let's talk about it or whatever, that's great. If she starts making plans to go elsewhere or start making plans to do things without you, that's probably a sign that she's not committed to the relationship. She's not committed to being with you. She's just looking for the next shiny bus to come by and jump on it. And the next thing I would say is she has lots of demands, financial demands. Like she like cars and clothes and jewelry and going on vacations and a lot of that stuff. Maybe you can't handle it. Maybe maybe you've taken on a lot of financial responsibility, which a lot of guys, they take on too much responsibility because they just don't have enough money coming in. This is how a lot of guys end up in debt. Because what happens, a lot of guys will take on so much financial responsibility and they think that the woman is going to help out and she doesn't help out, and he end up having to take on all the burden of debt. And when they break up, it's all on him. And I've seen this play out countless times. You know, so if that's the case, you're just a cog in the wheel, basically. You know, so be aware of too many demands. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say I can't handle it. It's okay to say that's too much. It's and I know sometimes some guys, they say they want to do whatever it takes to please the woman, but you don't want to put too much stress on you, unnecessary stress on you. At the same time, it has to be a balance somewhere in between, you know, and that stuff, being happy, that's an inside job anyway. So that's stuff doesn't really make anybody happy. It's kind of like, it's just like icing on the cake, basically. That's all that is. The extra stuff. So the next thing I would say is she ignores all your needs. She doesn't really care about you. Anything that you want, she doesn't put too much thought into it. Doesn't really think about it. Doesn't really talk about it. She focuses more on her needs than anything in a relationship. Um, whatever she wants or whatever she wants to do, she has a lot to say. It's a lot of conversation about what she wants to do on any given day. But when it comes to you, she totally ignores everything. You know, it's like your needs and wants doesn't exist to her. Very selfish. That's a very selfish way of being. You know, so be careful when it comes to this. And the next thing I would say is she doesn't she's not motivated to spend much time together with you. She'll go hang out with her friends, um, and whenever they call, she gets all perked up and all happy, and she'll rush out to get dressed and rush out the door. But when it's time to spend time with you, it's kind of like it feels like a job, like a chore. Like she has to force herself to basically spend time with you. Because in reality, in most cases, she's really not into you. She probably was never into you in the first place. She just you just came along at the right time, and she didn't want to be by herself. So she was like, "Hey, I'll be with him, but if I'm gonna be with him, there's gonna be some conditions to be with this guy." You know, so it's kind of like that type of deal. You know, because you know there's some people out here, men and women, they just don't want to be by themselves. They got to have somebody, even if it's a piece of a man or a piece of a woman. Just give me something. But I don't want to be laid up in the bed by myself too many nights at a time. So it's that type of deal. And the next thing I would say is she tries to keep you away from your family. Now, maybe you have a good relationship with your family or strong ties with your family. But what happens is a lot of women, especially if she's a control freak, she'll try to keep you away from your family to herself. That way she'll keep you confused, and that way she can control you and manipulate you and have you thinking something that it ain't really what it is. And plus, she doesn't want to be exposed by your family too. Because see, other women tend to they can kind of sniff out what other women are all about much faster than guys. So in most cases, she doesn't want to get exposed, and then um she wants to keep you to herself. That way she can manipulate you, play head games, and all that stuff. Oh, you know what I'm saying? That's what that's really all about. You know. And the next thing I would say is she don't claim you. She doesn't um show you off in front of her friends or family or the coworkers or anybody that she thinks highly of. You know, if you pay attention to a lot of women, if they got somebody, they're gonna tell everybody about it. You know what I'm saying? That's usually how it goes. Now, if a woman doesn't um tell the people that she thinks is important in her life, that she got a man, a boyfriend, or a husband, if she doesn't tell them that, if they don't know that, that's a good sign that she's not really committed. It's kind of like this is just short time thing, you know, maybe a couple months, couple years, and then she'll move on or whatever. So it'll be that type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been around women that that were really into me, and I've seen other women that were really into other guys. Man, they told everybody. They even go on social media. They put it on face. They put the new guy on Facebook, put the new guy on YouTube, Twitter. They they put pictures everywhere because they're really into that guy. Now you might be saying, "Hey, why everybody got to know our business?" And I get that. You know what I'm saying? But you got to look at the other side of the equation. You know that she's into this guy because she wants everybody to see her with this guy. So If that ain't the case, well, you got to question that. You know what I'm saying? And then, so the next thing I would say is, y'all don't have serious conversations um, about anything that's like really family oriented. Y'all don't have personal conversations. Y'all don't have conversations that talk about how y'all grew up, how she grew up, um, where she from. I mean, her parents, sisters and brothers. How was it growing up as far as going to school? Yeah, I mean, what's her experience doing this? Y'all don't have conversations like that. Y'all conversation basically is simple. Y'all talk about sports and what happened at work, and this just the common stuff. How your day was, stuff like that. Y'all don't get into stuff like politics, religion, sex. Y'all don't talk about stuff that really need to be talked about. Y'all don't talk about the president. Y'all don't talk about stuff like that. You just talk about the stuff on the surface level. Like, hey, I like name brand clothes. I like those shoes. I like this type of hair design. I like that car. And the common stuff that people talk about. That's that's the extent of y'all conversation. Y'all don't talk about what really needs to go be talked about. And the reason why is because she ain't planning on being with you long term. That's why. You know, and even if she been with you for a couple years, that don't mean she's gonna be with you for the next couple years. So she ain't really trying to get that deep, get in some intimate conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And next thing I would say is she's always on the telephone, on that phone, boy, texting and trolling on the internet. She's on some chat with her friends from all over the place. If she's from overseas, it's a lot of them. She's probably online, probably on. It's a lot of them, and a lot of these these apps is every country has a certain type of app where the majority of people that's on their cell phone are on that app. So you might be in New York City, and let's say your wife is from, I don't know, let's say she's from China or something like that. She's online, the app line, all day long, chatting with her friends, sitting on the couch looking at television. And you're in the next room, and she's trolling on the internet 4, 6, 8 hours a day and some. She'll go to work, come home at 5:30, 6 o'clock. She'll troll on the internet until it's time to go to bed. She might go to bed 10, 11 o'clock, and then she'll get into bed. She's still trolling on the cell phone, and that's a problem. So she ain't really feeling the vibe with you, or just being under the same roof with you. So it's best for y'all to have a real conversation, if that's the key, if that's the case, you know what I'm saying? And the next thing I would say is you feel like you don't really know her. You feel like, hey, I've been around this person for years, months, and I feel like I'm talking to a stranger right now. And the reason why you feel that way is because she done said some stuff that's off the left field somewhere. She started saying stuff that you never heard her say before, and that kind of rubs you the wrong way. You kind of feel a certain type of way about her. You don't trust her because of some of the stuff she said and done. Maybe she stabbed you in the back. Maybe she tried to embarrass you in front of your friends and family. Um, Maybe she betrayed you. She done something to make you feel a certain type of way about her. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't happen overnight. It's usually a process. It's usually happened over weeks, months, years. But um, if that's the case, you need to sit down and have a conversation with her. And some of this stuff can be fixed. The relationship can be saved, but it's going to take a lot of work. And unfortunately, I haven't seen a lot of people bounce back from a lot of these problems in a relationship. Because what happens is so much stuff has happened over a long period of time, and what happens is a lot of people don't want to look themselves in the mirror and take responsibility for their actions and hold themselves accountable. What they would rather do is point the finger at the other person, because it's easy to do that. You don't have to do any work to point the finger at the other person. And see, a lot of people don't want to be accountable for their actions, and that's how you repair the damage that's been done in your relationship. You have to hold yourself accountable, just like the other person have to hold themselves accountable. And a lot of people don't want to do that, because that's hard work. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, look, I'm fat. I'm a bad communicator. I have no discipline. I look like shit. But they don't want to do that. They want to tell themselves things that make them feel good, things that make them feel like goo goo gaga inside, like they some immature baby or something like that. So like, hey, at the end of the day, the best thing to do is have a conversation. And if you really want, it's going to take two people to make this relationship work. If you really want to save the relationship, it have to be a cooperation from both sides. If you can't have one person want to put in the work and the other person don't, that's not gonna work. So hey, tell me, have you ever had any similar situations like this where you thought you were being used? If so, leave your comments below this video. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, share it, subscribe if you haven't. Until next time, my name is Lopez, and I'm out. Peace.